Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the renewal of Pedri. And then later in the video, we're also going to be discussing the future of Sterling and if there is a chance that he could join FC Barcelona. All of this is going to be discussed within today's videos. But before we go into that topic, I do want to talk about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app is considered as the best football app you could find within the App Store when it does come to the latest player news, team stats, player stats, any tournament that you do want to follow. It is all compact within the OneFootball app. And for those of you guys who are in the UK, you guys would also be able to see La Liga highlights if you guys are following either FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Valencia, Real Sociedad. If you guys are in the UK, you would be able to see those teams' highlights. And again, all of this is going to be compact within the OneFootball app. The link is going to be down in the description box down below. By clicking that link, you guys would also be able to support this YouTube channel. But now let's get back into the video. So let's first talk about Pedri because you guys know exactly what I am going to be talking about within this video. We know that Pedri has already been presented a couple of hours ago, and yes, it is true that Pedri has signed with FC Barcelona until 2026 and his release clause is going to be 1 billion euros. This is a huge moment for both the player and the club because they're basically both showing that they wanted this deal to happen. The player wanted to stay at Barcelona. Barcelona wanted Pedri. This is something that is a very special moment for every Barcelona fan. And the best thing from all of this is that there was no tension between Pedri and the agents and FC Barcelona. Like, we have heard of some difficulties going on with the contract renewals of Dembele, maybe a little bit of Ansu Fati. We hear some difficulties or like some tensions going on between Sergio Roberto and the agent and FC Barcelona. We have heard many stories, but when it came to Pedri, there was not a single story that has blossomed into the media where they were discussing how there were difficulties on trying to reach an agreement with Pedri. There was no tension, and that is what does excite me the most, is to know that this is a move that everybody agreed with. And so Pedri did have the whole presentation, like he was holding the shirt with the number 2026 on the back of it. He was with Joan Laporta, Mateo Alemán. They were answering some questions, and Pedri did say some things throughout that presentation that really did caught my eye, and I am going to be reading you guys this right now, and I quote, "I am very happy. It is the club I always wanted to be in. I have always said that Barcelona is the club I love. Seeing that they bet on you and that they hope you will do great things makes me proud. I am very comfortable in Barcelona. I have everything here. I want to recover from this injury. I want to get back as soon as possible. I want to keep improving day by day. I don't like to look at the long term. I will fight for this badge as much as I can. I hope I can do something one day to put the fans back on their feet." And just notice, right, how we heard that Pedri said that he is so glad that this club is betting on me, because he is basically saying that he is aware on where this club is going, that this is a club that no longer wants to improve and extend veteran players' contracts within this football club. He knows that this club now officially bets on the youth players. They bet on players like Pedri, Ansu, Nico, Gavi, Frankie de Jong to bring the best for FC Barcelona, and Pedri is so proud to be part of this image. This is only going to be making the young players work even harder to know that this club really does value these players, and especially for Pedri. Now, another very interesting statement that really caught my eye, it was the 1 billion euro release clause, because this is what Mateo Alemán had to say about the 1 billion euro release clause, and I quote, "That clause sends the message of the value we give to that player. This is the most important thing. We don't want him to be on the market ever." And this is basically reflecting what we have discussed in the previous videos, how the 1 billion euro, yes, it is a great big release clause. Yes, it is about Barcelona demanding a huge fee for this player, but it is not just about money. The 1 billion euro is just another way to say that this player is unsellable, because like what club is going to be out there willing to spend 1 billion euros for a player like Pedri? Like, yes, is Pedri a great player? Yes, but 1 billion euros for one player, that is unattainable for one club. But Barcelona are basically saying that this player is untouchable, and I know that there has been comments on IG and on Twitter and on YouTube basically saying, but what about Newcastle, Kevin? Doesn't Newcastle have about 1 billion euros to spend? Aren't they worth around 330 billion euros now with the new owner? Yes, that is true, but that's not how it works. Like, just because you are valued at 330 billion euros, that does not mean that you have 330 billion euros. That is just how much they are valued. Those are two very different things, and I just do not see the market being there yet where they could say that they are willing to spend 1 billion euros on a youngster like Pedri. We're just not there yet. Like, if we want to have a chance to actually see that, maybe we could discuss this in about 20 to 25 years, but I do not think that we are there. I think that right now we are going to be sticking around the range of 200 million euros or 250 million euros when it comes to paying for the highest fee of a specific player. So there is no chance. There is no chance that Newcastle or any other club that has money like PSG or Man City that would be able to bid 1 billion euros for this player. It is just a statement from Barcelona that they want to keep and retain Pedri because he is untouchable. And I did not even mention that even if Newcastle or City City or PSG actually bid 1 billion euros for this player, or maybe even 850 million euros for this player, the player still has to agree. Like, the player still has to say that he wants to go to that club. And I do not think, just going based off what he has said today, that he would want to leave FC Barcelona. Pedri is here to stay. Pedri is going to be here to mark an era under Joan Laporta's Barcelona, and it's going to be very, very exciting, my friends. And now I do want to move on towards the reports of Sterling. So now, seeing the reports that have came out over the past 24 hours, these reports that we have been seeing have really been strengthening the reports of Sterling moving potentially to a different club, and maybe FC Barcelona. And one thing that we do have to know is this: Barcelona right now, they are a club where they do want to buy a player in January 2022, which is about 3 months from today. Now, could it be a defender? Could it be a central defensive midfielder? Could it be an attacker? It could be a player that plays in any of these positions. But going just based off what we have heard, right? I'm only going to go based off what we have seen through the media. Barcelona do want to bring in a brand new attacker, and the two players that have been talked about the most to strengthen the attacking line, it has been Dani Olmo and Raheem Sterling. But let's focus on Raheem Sterling only for this video, because there has been brand new details regarding this player, and it does say here, according to Mateo Moreto, Barcelona remain interested in Raheem Sterling and are attentive to how his situation does evolve. Now, we have discussed this before. We know that Sterling's situation at Manchester City is not the best, because his position and his role has greatly changed. Now, with the transfer of Grealish, seeing how he always does play in that center forward position, now with the emergence of Phil Foden, knowing how important he is becoming for that club, those are the two factors that really did hinder Sterling's situation with Man City, his role with Man City, his importance with Man City. And 2 years ago, it looked completely different. Sterling was the focus of Man City's attack. He was playing as a left winger and sometimes as a center forward. But now, in today's times, right, in this season specifically, and especially this season, he's playing as a center forward only, maybe about 90% of the time, and his minutes has greatly decreased. Now, what does this statement mean, right? Like, what does it mean for Barcelona to say that they are focusing on and are very attentive on how this situation does evolve? Well, there has been a lot of movement going on within England, and a lot of voices have been going out from Man City regarding Sterling's future. Like, for example, Pep Guardiola has spoken about Sterling's future. Sterling himself has spoken about his own future. And it does say here, and I quote, coming from Raheem Sterling, this is something that he has said about 24 hours ago. If there is an option to go to another team to get more minutes, I'll be open to that. And then Pep Guardiola had to respond about 12 hours later, and he said this, and I quote, Raheem Sterling is our player, and hopefully he will be an incredibly important player. What I do want from Raheem and everyone is for them to be happy here. If that's not going to be the case, he has to make the best decision. Now, what Pep Guardiola is basically saying here is that this is going to be Raheem Sterling's role at Man City, and if he is not happy, then he is going to have to move elsewhere. Yes, do I still have plans for this player? Of course. But if he is not happy with these plans, then you're going to have to move elsewhere. And this is why I do say this is what it means for Barcelona to be very attentive of the situation, to see how this whole thing does evolve. And let me tell you guys, this is where I do want to give my input, because I believe that this is where Barcelona have to be very careful, and that is because of two reasons. Point number one, the fact that we have to think about, is Sterling actually needed at FC Barcelona? That should be very alarming, because right now we do have many options. We already have Ansu, we have Dembele, we have Memphis Depay, we have Sergio Aguero, and the only way I could actually see this move of Sterling going to FC Barcelona actually happen in January 2022 is if we see either Demir not actually get bought from FC Barcelona, right? They bring him back to his former club, or they fail to renew the contract of Dembele. If any of these two things do fall apart, then yes, then we can talk about the discussion and the possibility of Sterling being needed at FC Barcelona. And then this is going to lead me towards point number two. What really does worry me about this whole thing is that Sterling's entrance into FC Barcelona could greatly hinder the minutes of many players in this squad. If Demir actually stays at Barcelona, and if Dembele actually renews at FC Barcelona, this is going to be a real problem, because Sterling is a left winger. We know that he can play as a center forward, but I do see him playing as a left winger at Barcelona, and Ansu Fati is also a left winger. So that is where you do have to ask, why would we want to bring in a player like Sterling when we already have a player like Ansu Fati? And let me tell you guys, we have just talked about how Sterling has a big problem on not playing. So if he were to come to Barcelona, then he is going to have to play. Barcelona is going to have to know that Sterling is going to be expecting about 80% of the minutes, and I do not see Sterling and Ansu Fati actually sharing minutes throughout the season. Like, if it was a 50-50 split, I just do not see that happening. And for those of you guys who want to say that, no, Ansu Fati is only 18, he's a young player, he cannot be getting about 90% of the minutes throughout the season, no, you're wrong. Like, I'm not even going to waste my time on that conversation. Like, if you believe that Ansu Fati should only be getting about 50% of the minutes throughout the season, then you're wrong. Like, I'm very sorry, but you're wrong. Like, Ansu Fati needs to be getting every minute he could possibly get throughout this season. He needs to develop. He needs to progress. He is the player that is wearing the number 10 shirt. We need to build for the future, and I do not want that to be hindered only because Sterling comes to FC Barcelona. And I have said before, and I'm going to continue to say this until we actually find out the conclusion of this player. If Barcelona actually want to sign an attacker this season or in the summer of 2022, it's going to have to be a center forward, a player that only plays and dedicates himself as a center forward. We need a center forward that has the instinct for goal, a center forward that can be in the conversations of potentially being the best player in the world. And you guys know exactly who I am talking about. That is going to be Erling Haaland. Like, look, if Barcelona is going to be saying that they have 70 million euros to spend in January 2022, no, save it. Like, save that money. Don't even spend it. Don't even think about spending that money. Just continue to accumulate those 70 million euros and save it. Bring the revenues coming in from the Camp Nou, bring in the revenues coming in from player sales, and then strike for that big bang in the summer of 2022. Bring in a big time world-class striker, which is going to be Erling Haaland. But those are just going to be my quick thoughts on Sterling's move to FC Barcelona. That is going to be it for today's Barcelona daily news. Again, I am very excited and I'm so happy and so satisfied to hear that Pedri has finally renewed. We should expect Ansu Fati's contract renewal to be closed very soon, maybe in about 7 to 8 days, maybe 9 days, who knows. But whatever does happen regarding these youngsters, we are going to be talking about it here in this YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.